Welcome to the SMWCentral podcast. I'm your host, FPzero, and I have a few co-hosts with me.
I'm Impetus.
And who's second?
We should have drawn straws. I'm Ivy.
And I'm Dan.
And we are making a podcast for the site now because that's a great idea. You know, that's something we haven't tried before.
We can all feel a little bit more important.
Yep.
Just
Gotta keep you all updated on all of the sites, news, and trivia.
Yeah, we'll be as important as the PR people actually are.
Exactly.
Because the Twitter and the Facebook and all the other news updates want to know.
Yeah.
But you can think of this as the successor to the SMWC news show that used to go on YouTube and
that one that I started years and years ago. I have a habit of starting things and then not ever doing anything else with them. So we'll see if this podcast makes it out the door.
Better.
Yeah,
you got three other people to back you up on this one.
It's
Drag
true.
You through it. Tooth and claw.
Tooth and nail. Yeah. We'll see if this one actually survives.
Maybe.
Time will tell.
Yeah.
Maybe they have claws. Don't be speciesist. Don't be humanocentric.
Anybody with giant fingernails or whatever it is, the
Or
Guinness
furries.
World Record people
The
with
site has furries. Don't be mean.
I'm not saying that. Anyway, so yeah, the point of the podcast is basically we're going to talk about some site news, just kind of go over what's happened in the last few weeks, and what's upcoming, and then we'll have some main segments which are, they'll vary in topic depending on what's going on in the week, but they're generally going to be ROM hacking focused, site focused, or something like that. The music that you heard at the start, we are going to cycle through just a variety of music tracks, not necessarily stuff that has been featured on the YouTube channel before, but just other tracks in the music section to just, do some more promotion of music. I think it's a good idea to do that. Specifically, the song that you heard was Ganso Pachinko O by TCDW. I guess it's a rip with a name like that.
Sure seems as such. It would have been nice to have listened to the track beforehand, but hey.
You're ruining the illusion.
For all I know, it could be the worst report I've ever heard.
I trust in everyone's decisions, and I trust in the community to make beautiful tracks. Unlike a couple years ago, but yeah.
It was Idle's suggestion. If it's bad, you can yell at her.
Exactly.
I mean, yell at her anyway, but you can yell at her.
I always yell at her.
I don't want to yell at her. She might peel me.
Yeah, well, defense mechanisms.
She's
I
a
guess.
vengeful god.
So we decided when we made the podcast, this is actually the whole reason I even came on the staff team. It was kind of like, oh, he's back. Hooray.
What's he gonna do now?
Yeah, why is he here? Why is he in PR? It's basically, I was like, hey, I want to help out the site again. Can I figure out a way to get back on the team? Well, I could try this. And it worked. So there you go.
Some might say ulterior motive. I call it a productive use of our time and a good growth for the entire community. So there you have it.
Yeah,
that's I was paid to cover for him.
We'll talk less about my manipulative manners, but
I mean, I kind of wanted to do a podcast thing anyway, so it was pretty good for you to turn up right then.
We all had that little inkling growing in us. So
it's kind of surprising we hadn't done something like this before.
Yep.
I don't remember anything even attempted like this. The news was the closest it got.
I don't think we had anyone enthusiastic enough to actually try and do it.
Not to mention, back in 2008 when the YouTube channel started, nobody had good mics. Nowadays, good mics are...
Nobody would even think about doing something like it.
No. I still don't have a good mic.
Well...
So, got a little bit of a nostalgia bit there. With my
there you go.
They're 10 pence a dozen.
Mediocre mic ASMR provided for you by Impetus.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, so we're going to see how this podcast goes. Hopefully it turns out okay and we're not complete shit. And if it is, then you'll never see the light. This will never see the light of day.
Apparently, cussing is slightly allowed here, so You know, if you're used to the content on the YouTube channel being family friendly, not
Who said that?
necessarily the case.
But it's fine, because even if the podcast is cancelled, I still have the free show.
It's indicative of the site experience, I think.
Now, if you go on the Discord, you'll see people throwing these cuss words everywhere, so...
Yeah, but it's different there.
It's a different environment, you could say that. That's one way to describe it.
I imagine the only people that are going to be listening to this are probably the people in the Discord and the most hardcore of the YouTube channel followers. So,
goody.
Whatever.
40 minutes from Super Mario World Central.
Ah, yes, perfect. Exactly what I needed in my day.
12-year-olds still watch PewDiePie, and PewDiePie cusses a lot. So...
That's true.
Dude, Game Grumps has a freaking podcast, so anything is possible.
Yeah. So we won't concern ourselves too much about it.
Yeah,
we're not gonna
should loosen up, probably.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's the point of the podcast. So let's move on to some site news. We're going to actually start off with... Hey everyone, this is FPzero, and I'm coming to you from a post-production setting right now. I'm actually finishing up the editing for the podcast, and the reason I'm doing this little bit of recording is because, as it turns out, our site news segment was almost entirely obsoleted by the events of this week, where like 3 or 4 of the topics we covered were... Yeah, they were obsoleted by the time this podcast comes out. We spoke about Moran's resignation, but at the time we did not have a replacement administrator for him. An administrator has since been chosen. Hina Light is now admin on the site. We also spoke about VLDCX progress, and nothing really has changed there. That's like the only one that didn't really have any big changes in it. So VLDCX is still going along. 3 of the 5 judges are finished. The other 2 are over the halfway point, closer to finished than the halfway. So they will be, we anticipate them to finish up soon, but we still don't have an exact date on that one or anything like that. Then OLDC. At the time OLDC was finishing up, by the time this podcast goes out, OLDC has actually been posted. You can check out the winners on the site. The results are up in the contests and events forum. And yeah, so you can go and see if you won, if you haven't gone and checked already. And yeah, all of our judging commentary is available for you to view and get an idea for, what was good, what was bad about your level, general feedback. The graphics and related topics subforum also opened up lately, and it's just a place for you to go to have get feedback on your graphical designs or anything like that. You can do graphics, you can do palette design. It's a place for you to go, especially if you're trying to learn graphics. It's a place for you to go and get feedback from everybody just about how your graphics look, because a lot of that goes on in Discord. In the show-off channel, but having a place for it on the board is not bad either. So yeah, go check it out if you need help there, or if you want to help some other people out. That's a new subforum that we have under Hack Discussion. And the final piece of news is the Pokemon Showdown tourney that's going on. We announced it in our site news, but at the time it hadn't started. It has now. The format is Little Cup. Ivy is going to be running it. So you can check out that contest as well. I'm not exactly sure what subform it's in, but it was announced in the news, and you can also, you can talk to Ivy about it if you need to and get the rules and stuff like that from him. But so that's the news we covered, and almost all of it was as I said, obsoleted by the events of the week. So this little re-record is just here to make it not sound like we're completely out of touch or something like that. So yeah, and with this, we will now return to the regular podcast and go straight into our main segment. But yeah, so that's all the site news that we have right now. And so we're going to turn on to the main segment right now. And basically, since this is the first episode, I think it's a good idea for us to just kind of go one by one and and just sort of briefly like introduce ourselves, because while we might be known around the site, people still probably don't know us in a lot of cases. So I don't want to like go like super deep, but I do want to talk about like how we started with ROM hacking, how we found the site, and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll take turns, and I think I'll go ahead and start. Feel free to interrupt each other and ask questions or anything
Discussion.
like that. Yeah, so that it's not just us sitting here for like a few minutes each talking
Monologuing.
to
But
ourselves.
you're saying that people
Yeah.
haven't seen our YouTube videos and the preemption of Impetus?
Judging by the YouTube statistics, yes.
You're telling me that they don't know who the legendary FPzero, long-time veteran, old guard of SMWC is?
Well, they will now.
Who is FPzero?
The legend.
The legend.
Never,
Yes.
never heard of
The
this.
man, the myth. Actually,
Get him
no.
up.
That was
It's me, the legend. It's you. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and start. Yeah, I'm FPzero. I joined the site back in 2006 or so, before the whole site wipe occurred. I found... Basically, I got into ROM hacking because I was... I discovered... I saw a picture of, like, Super Metroid redesign, and I had... Like, I saw a picture of it, and I was like, that's not normal Super Metroid. And I was curious, and I was trying to figure out...
mind blowing.
what- Yeah, basically. Because, I mean, Metroid is my favorite series. Super Metroid's one of my favorites in there. And so I knew the layout pretty well. And I just didn't recognize it. So I was trying to figure out what they had done. And it kind of led me around to finding that ROM hacking was even a thing that existed. So, yeah, I looked into it more. I found a site that was samus.co.uk, which I don't think their forums exist anymore. Their site may not even exist anymore. This was 2006. And yeah,
It's a dynamic place.
I went and found the editor for it, and I just started trying to make a Super Metroid hack of my own. I failed horribly. Let's just get that out of the way.
Hey, everyone
That game
tries, shoots for the moon, and then it's like, oof, well.
That game...
I landed maybe in Proxima Centauri, somewhere around there.
Yeah, basically. It's not an easy game to hack. I'm not going to take the time to explain why right now because it's too deep. I could
Please
talk for way
do.
too.
I'm interested.
No, not now.
Aw.
Look, man. You want to talk about rooms blowing up? Lunar Magic, y'all got that shit like real easy. But no, it's a very temperamental game to modify.
Yeah, we don't know how good we have it with Lunar Magic. It's
Basically,
Nintendo had to make Mario Maker to try to flush it out of existence.
Mario Maker's a lot of fun though.
It is,
I do like it.
Yeah,
There's
but
like-
it's missing one thing.
Slopes.
Slopes.
They'll never play Lunar Magic until they finish
Cursed feature. I don't know how they have avoided it.
Tai keeps yelling at Bill Trinan that he wants slopes.
Yes, just keep tweeting at him. Bound to reply.
basically.
I wonder when Sega's going to come out with like Sonic Maker, because that's going to be a thing eventually, right?
Oh wow, I can imagine that because they have Sonic Mania. It'd be a good engine to build off of.
I want to
Possibly.
see Zelda Maker.
I don't think they can.
Well,
They wouldn't,
I mean,
because
Zelda
Zelda's a
Classic
little bit-
exists.
Well, they could, but think about Mario Maker. You know, a level is quick, simple, and done, or can be quick, simple, and done. What do you do
Yep.
for Zelda? You make a dungeon. Dungeons are a little more in depth. Now that
Oh.
you know, if you do it like Zelda 1, you could probably make some dungeons that don't take
Yeah.
too long. But I don't know. I don't think we'll see it, but it would certainly be cool, especially because they had that whole like 2D prototype Breath of the Wild that they showed off at GDC.
Yeah, I've seen that.
You definitely need to have the Nintendo Eye for something like Zelda. With Mario, anyone can learn, get the basics of level design, but then, like,
Zelda's a little more complicated.
puzzles and
Excuse me,
stuff.
Have you
Yeah.
played Mario Maker? I strongly disagree that anyone can do
Well-
the basics
Well,
of
it's a
level.
learning experience, except unfortunately everyone they get their levels on the internet forever, so it's like, ooh.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's how I got into Super Metroid. But how did I get into Super Mario World? Well, at the time, I think samus.co.uk went down, the forums went down, so I had to go somewhere else. And I kept looking around for other ROM hacking sites, and I found ACMLM's board, which is... it has a lot of spiritual successors these days, but in the early 2000s, mid-2000s, that was the site to go to for ROM hacking. Maybe romhacking.net would be an equivalent, but that was where like everybody who was anybody for ROM hacking kind of hung out. And that's where I know a lot of people, even today, from. But so I found that, and Super Mario World is obviously more popular. I discovered that, found the tools for Lunar Magic, and started trying to do that because Super Metroid wasn't working out. Then out of that, I guess I found SMWCentral probably by following Kieran's signature or something like that at the time. And yeah, so that's how I found the site, and I've just kind of been around it for the last decade, being both staff and regular user, and now staff again.
And nepotism with your brother.
But yeah, so there we go. That's pretty much me. Other things, I put other hobbies down in our list. I do LPing on the side of my own, both video and screenshot format, and yeah, I'm kind of tied to the computer.
I think we all know that feel. Virtual group hug.
At least I don't live in a basement, and I have like my windows open.
What I wouldn't give to live in the basement.
I've only ever seen trees in pictures. I've never seen them in real life.
Like, yeah. My basement is probably I'm an American, so I'm using Fahrenheit here, but it's like probably 60 or so degrees, while my room is 93. So quite the temperature gradients we have here. It's September and we still have like 90 degrees outside. I don't know what's going on. It's climate change, my dudes.
Yeah. All right, who wants to go next?
Hold up.
Okay.
Same order that we started the podcast in, I guess.
Sure.
So, I'm Impetus, the forum team person who does forum teaming, which is kind of a sort of a big job, but it includes like dealing with, people spamming, people being really, really rule-breaking. Really rule-breaking. Like,
you're kind of like what the old global moderator position used to be.
Yeah, but it's basically a team that's focused towards dealing with all that, and like especially has the specific skill set needed to do all that. But a lot of the people that are on global moderators still do that as well. So it's more just like a sort of a management thing to make sure that everything's running smoothly. We, as the forum team, we also basically work a lot in sort of the little jobs that you wouldn't really notice, like maintenance, making sure the stickies are up to date, implementing new site features that we need, or improving things, that kind of stuff. So I sort of forwarded the archival of a bunch of old forums and moving threads around and sorting all of that out. We used to have like a PR forum and individual promotions and stuff, and that was all really dead, but just sort of hanging around there. So yeah, we kind of deal with that kind of thing as well. But how did I get started with ROM hacking? Well, I'll try to sum this up pretty quickly, because I could go on to like this really long tirade about how I was a baby. How I was a baby playing with Legos, and I discovered my creative side.
Yes, the root cause of everything, yeah.
Freaking Legos.
In this house, we all play with Legos.
As I side-eye the few Legos that I do have in my apartment.
All my Legos are in the basement that I am not stationed in right now. So
yeah, as a kid, I was a PC gamer. And two things quite like iconic of PC gaming back in the 2000s was Flash games, which I played a lot of on the internet.
Absolutely.
And they were free, so I could get more games. It was amazing.
Newgrounds, mini clip.
Yeah. Congregate was one that I went to.
Congregate, yes.
Yeah, like a lot of there was this one fan site that had like Sonic and Mario games and just like nothing but Sonic and Mario Flash games on the fan site. I don't think it exists anymore, which sucks. But like it had
I
like
think
that
a
Mario.
lot of those sites don't exist any longer.
Nintendo
had,
reign
like,
of
that-
terror.
Had like all of the Sonic games, had the Sonic Character Creator, that Sonic 2 Advanced style Flash game. It had Mario Boss Remix. It had that Mario Tower Defense game. It also had Super Mario Flash, which I'll get to later. But yeah, the other thing with PC games is that a lot of PC games have level editors. And I pretty much really liked using level editors and stuff. So I was always picking my levels for a lot of PC games, and then I started Googling Mario level editor because I had Mario games as well. And via the Mario level editor Googling, I found Super Mario Flash, and I originally joined Super Mario Flash forums. But Super Mario Flash isn't the best game ever, so I tried looking for Mario level editors for better games, and this eventually led me to Lunar Magic. And Super Mario Central. And I joined just after the Great White. But I looked around for a very long time and made terrible posts. And eventually I made two levels, one of which two levels in my entire hacking career, one of which is the worst level in Super Mario Central production, arguably. And the other of which won the vanilla level design contest.
You didn't make the Chateau of Winds or whatever it was.
Yeah, Shadow of Storms. It's terrible.
Storms. That's not
So
you.
I made Shadow of Storms. I didn't actually release any other levels, and then I won VLTC 9. So that's my career in Super Mario World hacking.
You somehow managed to improve in between all that time of doing nothing.
The reversal of entropy.
Yeah.
But when VLTC 11 gets out, you'll be able to play the most mediocre level ever, completing the circle.
Perfect. Anything else from you?
Other hobbies.
True.
I like eating pizzas.
Pizzas or pizzas?
I like that that's a hobby.
That's it's more like my diet.
Food review.
What is your favorite pizza?
Four Seasons Pizza, which is a pizza with ham, olives, artichokes, and mushrooms, and it's delicious.
That does sound
And
good.
That's an
artichokes are the
interesting
best
assortment of
pizza topping.
vegetables. Nice. I hate the culture that, largely in America, I guess, where pizza is just like, no one gets pizza with vegetables. It's like, come on! It's the good stuff right
No,
there.
give me a Supreme.
Why would you
Exactly.
not want olives, mushrooms, and artichokes on your pizza? They're all amazing.
Yeah. No,
Especially
I've never had
artichokes.
artichoke hearts on a pizza, but I can imagine they'd be pretty good in the right situation.
Please have artichoke hearts. They're amazing. They need to be on all
There's
pizzas.
there's a really good pizza place that I go to here in Richmond. Every once in a while, usually if I can get to it between classes. And one of my favorites to get from them is it's a spinach and mushroom, but instead of tomato sauce, it's pesto sauce
Oh,
with cheese on it, and it's just really tasty.
mamma
Yeah, that
mia!
sounds great too. Pasta sauce is really good.
Pesto sauce is
This-
fantastic.
This is the kind of thing you don't get at Domino's or Pizza Hut.
I love
That's why you
pesto
eat real
with-
pizzas.
Yeah, let's say gnocchi are fantastic. Top tier Italian food right there.
Yeah, it sounds good.
I love gnocchi. That's like the potatoey stuff, right?
The greatest type
Yes.
of noodle. Yeah, potato
Great.
pasta. Yeah, it definitely helps that it's made with potatoes. If it was just regular flour inside of that shape, it would just not be the same.
It wouldn't be as good. But yeah,
Fantastic.
great.
that's
Stay
good pizza.
tuned for episode 10, where we're gonna go to Italy and eat pizza for the whole podcast.
Yeah! Live
Oh,
blogging
man.
from Roma, Italia.
I like some of that.
My wallet.
What?
Is there a
Yeah.
hole in it?
So outside of SMWC, I'm a QA tester, which means I do video game testing. That's my job. It's terrible.
Yeah,
QA,
I wasn't gonna say
yeah.
nice because I've heard stories.
But yeah, I'm also interested in game design. That's like my career goal is game design. Although I would settle for YouTube or journalism because those are pretty cool to you.
I gave up on a game design track, honestly. It's mostly because the industry's not great.
I know it's not great, but I like making video games.
But I ended up going. I'm still in school, even though I'm old as shit.
Same.
But
I'm almost done though. Hopefully.
Although I'm 21, so it's still typical.
You're not that old. Shut up.
I mean, I'm a little bit behind in terms of school. With I've taken some summer classes and also had multiple failures. Anyways,
Hey, don't worry about it, man. I'm
right.
right there with you.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like,
You just keep
I
going.
failed college, which in the UK it comes before university. So I just dropped out and was like, I guess I'll do game testing. But like, no, I really want to, rather than join like EA or something and work for them, I want to get like money to start up a company and do like a indie startup and hire people to work for me. But that's like a quite long way in the future goal, I guess.
Yeah, but it's not bad to have the goal, especially if you still want to do something like that. I mean, I like game design more as a hobby at this point.
Play up on some game developer simulator. It's a masterpiece.
Who knows? Maybe you'll be the next Notch.
Yeah. You don't want to be the next Notch, but metaphorically, yeah.
I know what you mean.
Maybe I'll be the next Toby Fox.
Yeah, there you
yes,
go.
there you go.
That's better,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not nearly as lucrative, but much more well-received, despite the controversy, quote-unquote, that Undertale has by existing, apparently.
Whatever.
Well, it's mostly the fandom that
I
isn't
can't
Yeah.
believe that
The game itself is
game
great.
lets you murder everyone.
Oh my god.
Wow.
All right. Well, thanks, Tim. Who's next? Who wants to go next?
I don't remember the order we went in at the beginning, but I guess I'll just go
Rock,
in
paper,
there.
scissors
were
right now.
after
Just
him.
yell out rock, paper, yell out which one you want.
You want to do that? That'd be hilarious. Let's do it.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Paper! Excuse me?
Is that nothing?
I think I fell for it, so I should go first.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's just go.
I win by default.
Alright.
Skipping the best for last.
Yeah.
Please excuse me. That's the rules.
Well, I'm the little nooblet here, and with the reg date from 2014 or whatever. Yeah,
2008.
it's I've been existing in and out of the sphere nebulously. I don't remember exactly where the ROM hacking interest came from. Obviously, as a child, the whole Lego situation, and one of my friends introduced me to Minecraft. But that's 3D. That's separate. That's irrelevant. Before Minecraft, even as Impetus is talking about with Flash games and stuff. In particular, on Congregate, there was this one, Platform Racing 2, and has no one heard of it? That was a classic. It's still up. It's still up.
I feel like I've heard of it, but
yeah,
it's
by
hard.
this
There's
man
so
called
many Flash
Jigman.
games.
Yeah, and beyond that, obviously, it has like a block grid thing, and the level design is quite extensive. Like you can customize, you can build things from scratch. Pretty much every level is built by the community, except for the couple of campaign levels from the start. Like literally, a minuscule portion of them were built-in campaign stuff. But yeah, and then
It's
of
kind of
course,
like other games. It's kind of like Trials and stuff like that.
yeah, yep. You can make a level as expansive as you want or as thin as you want, and that kind of introduced me to that general concept. And then of course there's Mario games, Mario fan games, Mario Flash. I think I played that. I don't remember the names of the games. I just remember some higher quality than others. Yeah, some a lot more user accessible. You could customize your own levels on those Mario Flash games. Those were the days, huh? Yeah. And let's see. So Lunar Magic, I played around with that at some point. I don't know where it came from. I had it. It just mysteriously appeared on my computer at some point in time.
This is your destiny now.
And yeah, I think it stemmed from just watching on YouTube. Like Zeldara 109 had some interesting stuff I would stumble upon.
Glitch City.
Yeah, Glitch City. God.
I remember. I think I moderated Glitch City at one point, or I don't know. She was on staff at one point too.
And even more primitive than that, there was, like automatic Japanese kind of levels where it plays out music and stuff.
Yep.
Those are true classics. So I mean, that was one of the first times where I was introduced to the concept of ROM hacking in general, and again, it blew my mind. Like, wow, you can just modify games. I didn't even know of game modding really before then.
But Breaking Mario is the one true hack.
Brutal mode.
2000s.
The Game Grumps were playing that at one point too. It's co-op with Markiplier of all people. Anyways, pardon me. Okay, still recovering from this cold. Yeah, let's see. So that was all about the Flash and the game design. So YouTubers for sure. As you know, or you might know at least, I was mostly on the Talk House before coming back to Super Mario World Central. Both of these forums I've been only on since 2014. I don't know why. It's only that recent. But yeah, I mean, Raukau is obviously the keystone here. You know, him playing all those games. Show me the... He was one of my first Let's Players that I watched, basically. We've had some good times
I think
together.
I've been subscribed to him for, God, like 10 years.
Yeah, here, if it was ordered chronologically, it would be at the very bottom of the list, for sure.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, I give him $3 per month out of my own PayPal.
Wow.
Good old Patreon. They take a cut of that, so it's more like $1.60, but whatever. Anyways. Yeah, let's see. How'd I find the site? Yeah, I mean, SuperMarioWorldCentral.net is an affiliate to the Talk House. I think the Talk House is where I went first. So that's how that goes. It's like, cool, let me put an account on this forum, and I might eventually join this forum and be an active member. And that's where I came to be. Yep.
It's funny, for a long time, for at least a few years, the Talk House and SMWC were kind of like rivals.
Rivals.
Like, we were not nice to each other. Like, I found some old staff logs a few days ago or whatever, and it's like just us making fun of the Talk House members or whatever, or like blaming them for things that are going on the site or whatever. Like bad people coming over and messing with us or something. It's like, wow, times have changed.
A hilarious feud. Yeah, and speaking of...
It didn't even make sense, honestly.
There was like, I think the justification for it was like Talk House didn't like moderation standards or something.
It was
in terms
something
of,
like that,
hack
yeah.
accepting.
Probably something like that, yeah.
That's about like the most
Like, oh, they're too snobbish.
It just seems so petty and pointless.
Honestly, that's the reason that Production 1 got finished, was because ASMT got finished, and we were sitting there waffling around with Production 1 for a long time, and it was kind of like, well, they managed to do a collab hack,
yeah.
Why can't we do it?
That's the good kind of rivalry right there, where it's constructive and they are inspired.
What you're saying
It wasn't constructive at all. It was basically like, how could those plebeians put together a collab hack and us elitist SMWCentral members not manage it ourselves?
Incredible.
I see what you're saying. You're saying that we need to send people to start up that rivalry again, so we can finally get
finish
Production
CP2
2 out.
What I'm saying is we need to actually just like put Idle in a box and then never let her out.
Oh.
And then she can go vent in the Talk House, and then we'll have another person who's relegated to the Talk House and has a grudge against Super Mario World Central. They just keep piling up.
We'll hire somebody to the PR to be outreach, site outreach. They can also be relationship repair.
Anyways,
I think I'm in charge of relationship repair now.
Relationship repair.
It seems to be.
All right, here is your couples counseling. User MarioFan69 and Peach Kisser 237. You are going to have to reconcile with your differences. You can stop being probated from the forums.
Peach Kisser.
Peach Kisser. Listen, I'm trying to come up with names off the top of my head, alright? I don't want to name actual names here.
At least go with Minecraft Steve XX or
Minecraft Hero Brian 32.
XX Sonic Fan XX.
My goodness.
XX Shadow Rocks.
Well, anyways,
Shadow
back on
Edgy
track. Like,
69.
I've been also Super Mario Brothers X. Obviously, that's a thing that exists.
Oh, yeah.
The Super Mario Brothers X forums kind of took the niche of being the freaking antithesis to the Talk House. Yeah, that's still ongoing. So people are quite up in arms about SMW hacking versus, Super Mario Brothers X modification with the Luna Lua and all that. It's interesting to
Yeah.
see that schism there. There's some purists and some people who just don't like the Lua add-ons and would rather have vanilla. It's quite a dynamic. But yeah.
I think it's a matter of, like, you have too much, you don't know what to do with it, or you feel like you've been given a bunch of new toys and therefore you gotta try them.
Yep.
Especially if you've been restricted in the past. Or quote-unquote restricted.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
that's
kind of
like
felt like that when I used it.
seems like the same kind of difference between like Mario Maker and Lunar Magic.
A little bit.
The one thing I really don't like about the Super Mario Bros. X is the gigantic screen size.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally 4 Super Mario World screens in one. But that can be changed. Like, there's tools to zoom in and have Super Mario World camera, so that it's getting better and better.
Oh, that's neat. I haven't seen anything like that before. But
Yeah,
I don't really keep up with the community.
Yeah, I'm in the code house and all that. I have too many Discord servers.
Same.
Yeah.
I have Discord servers I don't even look at, but I just haven't left them.
I don't
Exactly.
even have Nitro, so I don't even have an excuse for half of them. I can't
I
even
have a
steal
lot
their
of
emotes.
muted servers.
Yeah, I have like 6 muted servers, and then a lot of them that I just touch. I'll have non-muted servers that I just touch on randomly, just to get them marked as red. It's like I'm semi-paying attention to them. There's one server in particular that's like, respond with this particular emoji if you want to remain on the server. It's like, alright, I guess I'll do that.
What?
Yep. They're a little particular about their members. But yeah, anyways, other hobbies. Well, as you all know, we're quite computer bound down here. We all type down here, basically. But beyond that, I mean, as a kid, I biked a lot. I don't bike as much nowadays, but I still have somehow the cardiovascular strength to go a couple miles, so that's always fun. It's even better when you have a particular destination, such as Poor Boy Subs 2, where you can just feast at the end of your trip. Yeah.
And you can undo all of the progress that you made.
Yeah,
biking
basically,
there.
I don't actually need to exercise too much. I mean, I'm my metabolism is way too high, but it helps with getting to bed on time, feeling more refreshed and stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's got the health benefits aside from that. Yeah. Good stuff.
All right, cool. All right. Thanks, Ivy. And Dan, you're the last one to go.
Sorry, I had to do a big yawn.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we boring you?
It is getting pretty late over there.
Alright,
It's
Dan, tell us about your exciting, action-packed life that just completely drowses all of us.
Well, because you asked so nicely. I won't. No, I'm just kidding.
Oof.
Alright, huh? Go on.
Go on.
Okay. My name is Dan, as you might know. And how did I get started with ROM hacking? That is a good question. It has been a while. So I think when I was playing games, I actually had an SNES. I had Mario All-Stars. I didn't even own Mario World. And I was just playing through the games. SMB3 was my favorite. And while I was playing, I was thinking, wow, I really want to make my own levels. So I kept playing because I had no access to the internet whatsoever. I didn't even know what that was at the time. But I knew I wanted to do something like it. So years passed by, I kind of stopped playing the SNES and eventually got a PC. And the first thing I did, or one of the first few things I did, was look up how to create levels. So I looked up level editors, Mario, level editors in general, and I found a bunch of them. And we're going back to the Flash games again because those were the only ones that gave you level editors pretty much. So I played around with them. Most of them were Mario related. I remember on some site, I think it was Miniclip. That was a thing back then.
Yep.
There was this game where you control a penguin and it had a level editor where you can just place down obstacles, bombs, goal points, whatever.
Club Penguin.
Say, speaking of penguins, how about Super Tux?
Super tough.
A Club Penguin.
Club
No,
Penguin.
it wasn't Club
It's
Penguin.
not a Club Penguin.
It was something
No,
like...
but speaking of penguins, Club Penguin was the first game on Mini Club.
Was that on Miniclip at first?
I feel like it was its own thing. But I don't know. I
don't know.
never did anything with it.
I
don't even think it existed back
I
then.
had a Club Penguin subscription. I think I still have Card Jitsu cards, which is this trading card game for Club Penguin somewhere.
Well, I
Didn't
know,
they shut
I
it
know
down,
the site's dead.
Yeah.
They shut it down.
I know.
So whatever you had, it's gone. Probably. Anyway, the game was like a top-down view. You had this grid you could build on, was top-down, or you saw it from the sides. It wasn't your typical platformer, because everything was on one screen. But you get the point. You basically had to go through a maze and get to the goal point. It's kind of... It might be familiar to you. I don't know. So I kept looking, found Mario Flash games, probably that Super Mario Flash or something like it that lets you build levels. But I knew from playing that, this isn't the real thing. I want to keep looking to find something a little bit more official, to get that feeling more that you're actually making a proper Mario game. And then I found the site where Lunar Magic is originally hosted.
FPzero's niche.
FPzero's niche. And I looked around and was like, what is this? This looks like a Mario game.
This looks like the real thing.
Well, I didn't play Mario World ever at the time, so I was like, what is this? This looks pretty neat. It looks like it has a lot of features. So
I think I too
screenshots tab.
had never played
It looks
the
like
game.
Mario.
So I looked at the screenshots tab, and then I saw these screenshots with Mario Brothers 3 graphics, and I was like, oh my god, my dream has come true.
Yes.
So I looked around, and then I downloaded the editor, and was like, okay, what do I do now? Well, how do I open things?
Little did he know he needed a ROM.
I think I tried to find a ROM for like a week straight, because I had no idea where to look.
It's quite the obstacle for the budding young internet goer.
I think in 2005 or 6 this was all happening. I think it took me like a week to find one. I had no idea where to look. But I eventually found it. I opened up Lunar Magic, and I pretty much saw the original game. I was like, okay, where's the SMB3 graphics? I want them now. And I couldn't find them. I was like, what the hell do I do?
Where are all the graphics?
And I think it took me a year to figure out how extra graphics work, so I didn't get to that anytime
To be fair,
soon.
this was 2006. It was a dark time. Extra graphics were still a novelty.
It was so difficult.
Not an expectation.
I could not figure it out. People kept explaining me how to do it, and I just couldn't understand, and people actually got frustrated with me.
And like,
I remember that very
actual
well.
Mario Brothers 3 had like no editing. It still is really under-equipped for that stuff.
Yeah,
It's like
Yeah.
really-
Well, the
it's
NES
slow or
version
nothing.
does.
Oh, the
The NES
All-Stars
version.
SNES, yeah.
the NES.
Oh, the NES version, yeah.
I don't like the NES version. I mean, sure, it's pretty much the same game, but I
Well,
don't get the same
all
feeling
I was
from
saying
it.
is that the NES version is actually modifiable. Like the Smash version is not.
Well, they found ways to convert NES code to the All-Stars version, didn't they? I mean, that's what people have
they
been
might
doing
have,
for
but-
custom levels.
That's Ursanio's domain, but I don't really know it myself.
There's some guy on YouTube that does this, but
That's cool.
as far as I know, he asks for money.
I think
to
it's easier
teach
to
people
hack
to do it.
the GBA remake.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I haven't seen anyone do that, but
I know you can spoof e-reader cards.
Huh.
what to load custom levels.
Fantastic.
I'm not an expert here, so I'm not really sure. I might be
GBA
just talking
hacking
out my
seems
ass.
like-
Mario Maker before its time.
I hope it happens
What, Im?
one day where All-Stars
GBA
gets out.
hacking seems like a really fun thing to do. Like in general.
I know one guy who is like a GBA hacking assembly wizard.
I think they did it with Yoshi's Island for the advance, didn't they?
Maybe,
figure
I'm not
that out.
sure.
I mean, I want to assume that it's similar to SNES hacking because they have similar hardware, but I might be wrong.
It's a bit different, but yeah. He can
only
basically
thing
do
that
anything
the
that you
Advance
want
is
him to.
missing
It's
is a-
incredible.
The only thing it's missing is a proper sound chip. I think that's it. They don't
Yeah.
actually have their own sound chip for the GBA, I heard.
It's different.
It's really bad, that's what it is.
That's why the music is a lot more washed out. Or,
Yeah.
well, no, not washed out, but you know what I mean.
I think it's more like, I don't know, I think every game almost uses the same instruments because of it. Or something similar.
I would imagine what it is that the game probably handles the sound on its own.
Yeah.
Like, either has a sound component or something like that. I don't know. I don't know GBA hardware. I don't know hardware in general.
Me neither.
Yeah, I can't
I'd
do
actually
low-level
like to-
stuff.
I'd actually like to celebrate because we've gone through this entire introduction without mentioning the laser suit once.
The what?
The laser suit?
Laser suit!
The laser suit.
Who could forget?
I did find that, though. I did find the video of the laser suit, and I
remember when the laser suit was uploaded. On
no,
the
I
site.
found it randomly. I was just browsing around, and then I saw it. It was like, I kind of already knew that it was fake.
Mm-hmm.
But I was still surprised, like, hey, I want to do this too.
Which channel was that laser suit originally on?
Let me see if I can remember the name. I think it was K Phoenix.
My goodness.
I think that's the name.
The other Phoenix.
But this is literally 10 years ago.
Yep.
Time flies.
While he looks for that, any other parts? Anything else you want to say, Dan?
Well, that's kind of how I got into ROM hacking. How did I find the site? Well, I think when I started hacking at first, I found ACMLM, which is now long gone, or it still exists, but it's dead.
It exists in splinters.
In splinters.
Board 2.
Let's just say it wasn't my favorite place to be. I was kind of despised. But I think through that, after ACMLM was kind of going downwards, I found SMWCentral after the Great Wipe in 2007. This was like a few months after it was reset.
Mm-hmm.
But unlucky for me, there were some people, administrators from ACMLM, roaming around there as administrators. So that didn't last long. So I talked to a few admins and sorted it out, but let's just keep it at I wasn't a saint. So I didn't last long in those years. But years went by, and now I'm here, and everything's good. Everything's all right.
Happy go
lucky.
But
yeah, I don't really know. I don't really remember much about how I found the site. I'm pretty sure it was through ACMLM. So, I can't really say too much about that.
Okay.
As for other hobbies, do I have them? I enjoy making animations. Preferably 2D sprite pixel art animations. So basically the old Newgrounds pixel art animations you saw. One of them being what truly inspired me was Rise of the Mushroom Kingdom.
I remember that.
By Randy Solomon, creator of Video Game Director's Cut.
Yep. I remember that stuff.
He was my idol back in the day, and I was so sad at the fact I just heard that Randy Solomon passed away.
Really?
This was a few years ago. He passed away, and when I read that, I was devastated.
Okay, for a few years ago, I do remember that. Yeah.
Man,
I was devastated. The guy that got me into animation is no longer here.
The one that always stuck out to me was the whole Super Mario Bros. Z series.
Oh yeah,
Alvin Earthworm. Yeah.
Just because it started out rough, but by the end, by the time he stopped working on it, it was just so intricate.
I think he's working on it again.
Yeah, there was a new intro of some sort.
He remade episode 1 completely.
I saw that.
I don't know if I like the first rendition better, but the second one is of higher quality, that's for sure.
We'll see what comes of it if he's able to keep going through. But it's been well over a year since that came out. So
yeah, I hope he one day just decides to finish it. I'd love to see the end of the series.
Yeah.
Animation. Other than that, just video editing, filming in general. I'm currently doing my internship right now, where I get to do a lot of filming and editing.
And have no time other than doing the internship.
Hmm?
And have no time other than doing your internship.
Yeah, my internship is taking up a lot of my free time, so these weekends are holy
invaluable
to me. They are my best friend at the moment. But thanks to my internship, I'm actually learning a lot more than I've ever done at school, which is what everyone would say. It's fun.
Sounds about right.
If you're looking into getting into filming, video editing, animating,
it's like,
just do it.
it's kind of like learning a language or anything, really. If you're a lot more immersed in it, you'll learn a lot more.
Yeah.
Like going to the actual country rather than just learning in a class.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah. I hear
the
that all
thing-
the
Go
time.
balls first, and you get immersed. That rhymes,
The thing
baby.
about animation, the thing about animation is all your creativity can be converted to your own world. Pretty much, you can create your own world
Yeah.
where anything happens. If you've got how do you say it?
Excuse me, that I did that as a kid with Legos.
Okay, well, Legos is a good
And-
start.
Minecraft.
Also that, yeah.
No,
Say-
but like,
but I know what you mean.
if you've got a creative mind and you can actually, if you're really good at at converting your thoughts into a real thing, you can actually create some amazing things. I'm really bad at wording things. My apologies, but you probably got what I'm saying.
Do you do 2D or 3D? I actually
I do
not know.
2D.
Okay. I've never seen your art as far as I can recall, so it's like, ooh.
Well, I don't really draw. If I have
Oh.
to choose between drawing and, animating sprites, it's mostly
Oh, right,
animating
yes.
sprites.
Sprite sort of deal, yeah.
I do want to learn and make my own pixel art and kind
And
of
of
work
course-
with that.
You've been branching
Well,
into
you
the
know,
3D sphere.
we have a new subforum for that, Dan.
Hey, I'll check that
You
out.
can go and check it out.
I
At
will. Thanks for the tip.
www.supermarioworldcentral.net.
Thanks.
You
For
were
anybody who
check it
doesn't,
out.
for anyone who doesn't know how to get to our website, if you don't know our site and you've sat through the last hour, good for you.
Wow.
Go ahead and click on that about information on the channel, and that'll show you right there.
You go to Google, you type in Super Mario World Central, and then, I don't know, look around.
But yeah, the pregame here, Dan is also showing off some other like 3D animations, so it's like a jack of all trades.
Am I?
I would consider that art, but I mean, I guess it's subjective.
3D can be art.
Like
Yeah.
the particular type of 3D animation that you were making.
Oh, the thing I showed before. All
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well,
The thing he said he wasn't going to bring up.
I can bring it up. I'm just not going to bring up everything before.
Yeah.
He's not making porn. He's not.
No.
Making
It sounds
Don't
like we're
worry.
implying that, but no, it's actually like
No.
like Gary's mod type stuff. So
Gary's Mod.
Yep.
For those that looked at a lot of Gary's Mod videos, in 2011, 2012, it was kind of the year for Gary's Mod. Like, a lot of people started making them, and it kind of rised in popularity.
things like Gravel
It's these-
Poot and Pain is Cupcake, YouTube
That
classics.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's the really random stuff where their faces are all deformed and their
Team Fortress
animations
2
are like
assets,
3
yeah.
frames, TF2 assets, all that kind of stuff. I'm actually working on one of those videos with a friend of mine, and it's at the moment
a trip to the
not done,
past.
but it's a trip to the past.
Yeah.
It's already the funniest thing. There's no logic in it, but for these kind of videos, you really don't need logic.
You don't.
That's the best part.
It's absurdism. It's fantastic.
So once that gets finished, it's probably going to be uploaded on my friend's channel, and I'll link it in the Discord somewhere, because that's the best place to put it.
Indeed.
Well, very cool.
Are we done with the intros?
I think we're done with the everything for the most part. Thanks,
Yeah.
Dan, for all of that.
No problem.
This has gone way longer than I thought it would. I
Yeah,
figured, this
I
is
didn't
the
expect
first
so much
episode.
substance.
No one's gonna have anything to say because we don't know each other very well. But turns out that it worked perfectly fine.
Even with that couple, 30 minutes in advance waiting for a certain someone to show up.
I wonder who.
Don't worry.
Yeah, IVB on time next.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was all my fault. I'll take the fault for
I
that
was
one.
too busy biking. In the future, we will probably have other segments because our main probably won't last an entire half hour or 40 minutes, however long it did. Such as just generally talking about what we're playing lately in terms of games or maybe some other site related stuff.
And there's a crossed out
Or,
category
talking
called
about-
time filler, in which
talking about design or whatever. But yeah. I think this was pretty good for a first episode.
This is a great
considering
capstone.
We opened up and we were all like, "This is going to be awful." but let's just do it
See,
anyway.
I say capstone.
I had-
That sounds like the ending, but I mean it in the beginning.
I had full confidence in this. I knew it was going to be perfect. I believed in
I'm
us.
glad one of us did.
It was,
But
Honestly,
yeah,
I was pretty hyped. I just had a general feeling of excitement. I didn't actually have expectations, so this is a nice result.
yeah.
I mean, this is why I kind of said like we should just go straight into the podcast because I thought it'd be fine like this, and I'm glad that it
Yeah.
did work out. That means I'm not responsible for failure.
Like we have this tiny
It's all on me.
one-page outline.
It's all on me.
And it's like
Yeah.
this. That was enough. It's perfect.
Because like if this was awful, it would have been all on me.
Ha!
But yeah, so that was the first episode of the SMWCentral podcast. Maybe we'll come up with an actual name for it, but this is I don't know, whatever. We still
The
haven't figured it out.
Smoothcast.
No,
No.
maybe
Call it
I don't like
it.
SMWC.
not
Super
again.
Mario World Central production cast.
But yeah, so thanks for listening, everybody. And do you guys hear the music coming in? Do you hear the music?
I hear it.
That's some tasty
Fading
music
in.
right there.
Wow.
Exponential
Very
fade.
good. It's very
Incredible.
Good
I am sticking up my thumb.
I
I do not
give
point my
it-
thumb at you, sir.
I give it 4 out of 5 Hearthstone cards.
music. Beautiful. That's some good music. All right, thank you everybody for listening.
Thanks, all.
And
a
this
good
will probably be
experience.
about bi-weekly or so, or every
Yeah.
2 weeks. So we will see you again next time. Take it
See
easy.
you next.
Adios.
Later.